Taking a look now at some of our international and national news for the day. A U.S. senator basically has now come out to say that the sanctions against Russia are more important than the truth about the cyber attacks. Now that the United States has moved to unilaterally put sanctions against Russia, it really doesn't matter whether or not there were any Russian hackers. Trump has come out and said that it's quite strange that his intelligence briefing on the so-called Russian hacking was delayed. He's not going to get that briefing until tomorrow now. And he tweeted maybe they need more time to build a case. Meanwhile, he also tweeted that Julian Assange is right. He basically is backing Assange over Assange's claims that he didn't get the information that he released on WikiLeaks from Russia. It wasn't Russian hackers. The Ministry of Defence in Latvia apparently is the one who started the idea of the resumption of conscription in that area. And Ellen DeGeneres has decided to ban Kim Burrell. She was supposed to sing along with Burrell later on this week, but because she made some remarks at a church, remember she is a minister, that were critical of homosexuality, I believe she called it an evil spirit, well, DeGeneres said, well, that's it, she's not on my show, period. Putin has more friends, according to some people in the EU, and therefore they are now seriously considering rapprochement, a little bit of détente between Europe and Russia. Basically, they're saying that the United States right now is acting in a way that's not compatible with world peace, but Moscow is. Also, Soviet cosmonaut Igor Volk has died at age 79. Something that I found in an Izvestia news headline, 103 people were injured when a train derailed in New York City. Also, Charles Manson, seriously ill. He was taken from the prison where he's spending the rest of his life over to a hospital. They said at the time of the report that he was still alive but was not doing well. And we also see that Indonesia has halted their military ties and cooperation with Australia over something that they deemed offensive. They didn't say specifically what it was, but something did surface that was basically a laminated sheet that was critical of their local laws and customs, which prohibit any kind of blasphemy, which in and of itself is blasphemous, right? So now the entire country, Indonesia, cutting off military cooperation with Australia. Lastly, on the international scene, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is calling for a pardon for the soldier that was just convicted of manslaughter for killing a 21-year-old. The soldier was 19 at the time. He killed a 21-year-old who was lying in the street, shot him in the head because he, quote, still considered him a threat. Military court said that's not acceptable. He was not a threat. Convicted him, though not of murder, but manslaughter. And now the Prime Minister wants to give him a pardon. Something that, of course, we will probably be following more in the future. And if you like what I'm doing, please support me either through Patreon or through a direct subscription at my website, radiofreespeech.com. You've got some comments for me, or you want to give me a suggestion either for a news tip or something you'd like to hear me comment on, email me, steve@radiofreespeech.com. Thanks.